Hi everyone, my name's Dr. John Daniel, and I'd like to welcome you to our second post in our Tantrum Series. Today we're going to be talking about homework. For so many of the families we see, homework can be one of the most challenging parts of the day. Between the frustration with getting started, having to do the challenging work itself, constantly reminding your child to stay on task and stay focused, it can be a powder keg for these big feelings, tantrums, difficult emotions. In our first post in this series, we talked about the importance of being able to connect to my child when they're experiencing these big feelings or having a tantrum. And it's no different when it comes to homework. But for a lot of the parents that I talk to, homework can be one of the most difficult situations to do that, to connect to my child's frustrations. Because as a parent, you have two roles when it comes to homework. On one hand, it's okay helping connect during these difficult feelings and helping my child feel supported. But on the other hand, one job as a parent is to make sure the work gets done. So a lot of times those two roles can feel competing. And today we're going to talk about some tips to help manage that while building a sense of confidence and independence in your child. So there's two benefits to homework at its best. One is more engagement and practice in the academic subject itself, which is going to help with learning. And the other is being able to feel a sense of confidence and independence at not only being able to complete a task, that's more the academic part, but also manage some emotions that can come up when it comes to challenges or having to do something or um, completing some responsibility. And so, a lot of what we're talking about today, in the sense of the tips that we're going to be talking about, are to foster this sense of independence and capability in kids. So, an important first step, and really a necessary first step, especially if your child is having some frustrations when it's coming to homework, is building a consistent routine. That can be really hard, especially at first, and especially if there's not much of a routine right now, because there might be a lot of pushback. Things are changing when you're if you're going to change up the routine, and a lot of times that's not easy. But especially for kids who tend to have more difficult emotions or more uh, intense outbursts, having a sense of consistency and knowing what's expected of them in itself, maybe over time sometimes, is going to help with them being able to manage that emotion or cope with that emotion, knowing that the expectation itself isn't going to change. So, some ideas for what makes a healthy routine. On one hand, it's important that when your child comes home, they're not going straight to homework. A lot of times they need a 20-ish minute break um, to help kind of decompress from the day, uh, have a snack, kind of get some of their energy back. But on the other hand, we definitely don't want to wait too long to get a child started on homework, because by that time, um, it can be more challenging because they're more tired, be more engaged in whatever it is that they got started on, and difficult to transition back. So we want a nice short break and then getting started um, on homework. A second part of a routine that's really important is that homework time can't be the last part of the daily routine. It can't be homework and then bed, especially for younger kids, because then homework really is just marking the end of nice fun time for that day, and that's going to make it even more challenging. So we want to make sure there's things that your child gets to look forward to, which we'll talk about what those things can be in a second and how to use those motivators. Then um, another part of a routine can be building in breaks and some nicer things by breaking down the homework into chunks. So if a child a lot of times can visually see, okay, I'm going to do this part or this many questions, and then I get a break. Um, I'm going to do this subject and then this subject and then get my break. And then maybe another round of that, and I'm done with homework for the day. A lot of times that's helpful because they can cross it off as they go, help build momentum, feeling that they're accomplishing something along the way, rather than seeing homework as this one big thing that it isn't over till it's all over. Getting to see those little successes along the way. So then when it comes to the motivators, the things that they can earn at the end of homework, a lot of times, because we're talking about a daily thing that is homework, a lot of times there's daily things that your child is already earning. So the biggest one for a lot of families, if your child has access to electronics during the week, my feedback is always, okay, make that work for you, right? And the way that we can do that is to help your child learn that these really enjoyable, nice things, I get access to them by completing the responsibilities of the day, rather than I have to churn it off and end my fun to go to the responsibility part. So what we want to do is save those more exciting things for after homework time. And that's going to do two things. One, it's going to, again, over time, maybe not at first, give you a chance to empower your child with the sense of I'm capable and able of getting to my electronic time or getting to my enjoyable activity time, whether it's electronics or Legos or a fun game, whatever it is. And then that's going to help your child feel it's not just up to my parents to kind of hold this exciting thing and then decide to give it to me or not. It's there, and I'm going to get to pursue it by completing the responsibilities for the day. So saving those for the end can be a really important step in helping your child stay motivated. And it does another thing too. When it comes to the emotional part, you get a better chance of connecting to your child when it sounds like this. I know you can get to your TV time today. I know the homework's challenging, and I know you're frustrated that you have to do it, but I'm here. I could help you, and I know you're going to be able to get to watch that cartoon today or that fun show. Versus, if you don't do this, you're not going to get to watch TV. That's you holding all the power. And the first example is helping your child feel that sense of power, even when they're having a difficult emotion, and helping them feel supported with that emotion. Especially for kids that are having big frustrations and challenges, feeling like they have some choices is also really important. So you can build in those choices to the routine and to the plan of the day. What are you gonna get at the end of homework? Do you want to watch a TV show or play a computer game? Do you want to sit over at this side of the table or over here? What subject do you want to start with? Helping them feel choice and control within the boundary of the routine that you've set up can also be a helpful tool to foster that sense of independence that we're wanting. And then lastly, it's very important that you're talking and communicating with your child's teacher. A lot of times parents take that responsibility of this is what comes home and what's assigned, and I just have to make sure it ends up completed and to the teacher. And a lot of times teachers are surprised to hear how hard homework time is for a particular student. So usually teachers want to help and support and be part of the game plan in helping their students. So the more you communicate what's going on at home, the more they can help you game plan with what they're wanting for your child specifically, and maybe even sometimes making some accommodations for if your child's having an especially difficult time in a particular subject. So that's helpful to a degree, but sometimes kids who struggle with homework, it's less of a frustration problem, emotion management problem, I just don't want to do it problem. And sometimes it's more indicative of a learning disorder or ADHD or a more diagnosable issue that might be going on with the child. And a lot of times parents hesitate to want to explore that option or to know if that's really what's going on for fear of labels or other challenges that might come with that. But if you feel like that's something that could be the case for your child, it's also important to know that the school has services set up specifically for those issues, and school can do some testing. You can get some private testing done. That's something we do here too, and get a better sense of what's going on for your child. And the importance of that is the earlier we know, the more we can do to help support your child's specific way of learning, which might be different than what we're expecting, right? So the more we can address those issues specifically for your child, and the school is definitely capable and wanting to be a part of that support, the more your child can build their confidence in being able to manage the expectations that come with academics. So those are just some tips to hopefully help make homework a little bit smoother, and I hope you find them helpful. Thank you.